I'm sure you have heard that America is a land of opportunity. You don't have to take my word. I believed into this one 20 years ago. That's why I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. My today's guest is the most connected person on LinkedIn, and he is the Mother Teresa of social networking. Leadership Philadelphia said he is the next generation of leaders. Business Insider said he is going to take over the world. He has helped others to find job and secure venture capital on LinkedIn. Most importantly, he has helped others without seeking anything in return. Stephen believes in good karma come back to you eventually. Please meet the most super connected person on LinkedIn, Stephen Burda. Stephen, welcome.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Stephen, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to become the most connected person on LinkedIn and helping many, many others without even knowing them in personally, without meeting them in person, and without even asking anything in back. See how much I'm kind of excited to really get to know you all.
Well, let me just give you a little bit of a background. It didn't happen that I had a plan for it. It just happened by chance. I'm an immigrant myself. I came to this country from Ukraine when I was 10 years old. And my dad and my mom told me from early on, nothing's going to be given to you on a silver platter. Everything must be earned. And let's go forward a few years when LinkedIn came about. I realized the potentials utilizing LinkedIn. And it just happened. I was very open. I was very transparent with people. It started out by your random conversations with some of the people that I knew and some of the people that I didn't know so much, but we shared some common interests. And as time went on, I started growing on LinkedIn. I was helping people without any expectations in return, just you mentioned. And I realized it gave me personal satisfaction. It gave me that sense of being there and the mission there. And I continued doing it, and I'm doing it to this present day.
That's amazing. I know you have over 115,000 connections. That's a lot. The last time I had the most when my profile was sacked from LinkedIn. I know you probably know how many things they do with you when you grow to a certain level. I had a 30,000. I know your number two has around 40,000. So your number two has a way distance. It's like a politician running for like a way huge lead of 60% more than that.
That's right.
That's a very time consuming. How you really get a value out of that one?
Right. But one thing that I want to stress out to you and to your audience, it's very important to focus on the quality, not the quantity. Even though I might be a hypocrite, and yes, I do have over 115,000 direct first-level connections. At the end of the day, it's nothing wrong if you have 1,000 or 500 or 3,000. What happened to me was I started growing, and I've been published in a variety of different magazines and journals, both online and in print. And as you can imagine, when you get that publicity, when you get that visibility, people are interested even more in talking to you. And each time I get published, I get requests from people saying, hey, I want to talk to you, I want to meet you, whether you're local, And today you can meet on Skype, you can meet on Zoom, you can meet on a lot of different platforms out there and just talk and see where the roads will take you. So to answer your question directly and indirectly, the direct part, yes, I'm the most connected person and I'm still growing, but most importantly, I take the time to get to know my connections. Obviously, it's not possible to speak with every single one of them at every single opportunity, but I do the best I can to give my time, give the commitment to the audience that I'm connected to.
Thank you. Before we came on an interview, I crowdsourced a number of questions from my audience. They love to get it answered from you. That's the opportunity. This is the first time we are ever speaking on a video, by the way, even though we know each other for many years already through LinkedIn.
A couple of years ago. I think we did speak on a video, maybe.
No, that was a phone call. I remember that.
Yeah.
Phone call. At that time, video was not that popular, by the way. I know in your day job, you are a financial analyst and you are a consultant. So how this large volume of your connections have helped you in your day job become more successful on your day job?
Well, being a consultant working in the financial sphere, many of the jobs that I had in the past were consulting. Some of them were 6 months in duration, some of them were a little bit longer, some of them shorter. But as you can understand, when you have more visibility, especially recruiters and company, they hear of you, they hear of your skills, they see who you are, and they ultimately can reach out. So for me personally, when I had a job and my contract would end, I would go to my network. And because I do have a large network, I would say pretty much my contract is ending or my contract has ended. What do you have? What kind of opportunities you have? And obviously I have different opportunities in all aspects of not just finance, but a different sphere and also different regions in the world. But as you mentioned earlier, I live in the Philadelphia area. Right now, I live in a city called Audubon, which is the Lower Providence in Pennsylvania. So I'm staying for now local here. My wife and I, we welcomed twins just recently. So I have a very large family. I have 5 biological kids, and I have a nephew who lives with us. But what helped me specifically being the most connected is the opportunities that I otherwise would not have. And it's both on a personal level and the business sphere. So I suggest to people, if you are on LinkedIn, be active, be engaged, because you never know where the opportunity comes from. To me, it helped me, and I hope that if you take LinkedIn seriously, it will help you as well.
Thank you. Congratulations on your twins, by the way. Thank you so much for sharing on this. So all of your network will know that you have a twin. Earlier, you maybe kept it to yourself. Thank you. So let's keep going. What is your ultimate cheat sheet for super connecting?
A very simple formula. It's one person at a time. Obviously, it's impossible to know the world. And I'm not trying to know the entire world or entire LinkedIn database. But I do take the time, I do read people's profiles, and I make a connection if I see a person is an interesting person to be a part of my network. Now, I go to a lot of networking events, I meet a lot of people, whether it's a job related, whether it's industry related, whether it's a personal interest of mine. And one of my ways of connecting with people is because, just like I mentioned earlier, there's no given say to what exactly the two people will eventually bring to each other. There's always synergetic partnership if you engage with people. Now, like I said to you earlier, my goal is quality, not the quantity so much. But in the people that I do meet, I encourage them, whether they are currently on LinkedIn, to be more active, and if they're not on LinkedIn, to go for it, to sign up and give it a try. Because I found LinkedIn to be a very, very useful tool. And my strategy is very simple. Connect with wonderful people, learn from those people, and give back to those people. I mean, some people are mentoring me, I'll be honest with you, and there are many people that I mentor them. Some of them through Skype, some of them in person, and it works. It works really well. And I believe in teaching as many people as I can about the power. And, I have this ability and the skill, and I'm giving it back.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. I wish we all can implement that one. Giving back is very, very important. You need to help others before you even seek out for help. That's the key. So pay it forward. So as you have a large network, how you keep a balance of promoting any offer to them, or and just a connection and getting to know them? As you do, you kind of sell them something, make some offers to make additional money from them because you have the relationship with them?
Right. Well, one of the things, as you can understand, when you have that large of a following, sometimes a lot of people want to talk with you. A lot of people want to have the time with you. Sometimes time is of essence. That's my constraint. Having a large family, a wife, and everything that's going on, I have to have a balancing act. So sometimes I talk to people on the weekends. Sometimes I talk to people on the evening outside. And not everything is paid, so don't get me wrong. I do a lot of things for free. I do interviews, I consult with people, and I'm not charging a penny for it. Hopefully that will, in a way, bring its own dividends in a way, but finding time is difficult. I'm not going to lie to you, it's a challenging task. I have an organizer that I keep everything, and sometimes I do have to push back. And just so your readers know, you reached out to me about a month ago to schedule this interview. I had some family issue that I had to deal with. I had some other issues that I had to deal with. And I pushed back on you, I think, twice. And sometimes I do have to push back, take the priority of different things. And even though I'm a very committed person, eventually I'll follow through. Eventually I'll do it. Now, one thing that I tell people, if you reach out to me, I'm very responsive. I'll get back to you. But I also tell people I am not a magician, okay? I cannot solve all the problems, and I cannot find you jobs. I have people say, well, Steven, find me a job. I tell them, that's not what I do. I can connect you to people. I can connect you to companies. But what you do is completely up to you. I'm not a recruiter. Most people misunderstand that. They think that sometimes because I'm so much connected, I'm pretty much going to have a job with them. But LinkedIn is not about the job. It's about building the relationship. It's no different that you go to your local organization and talk to them and say, hey, here's who I am. Here's what I do. If they decide to give you a job, that's great. But at the end of the day, I tell people, build the relationship. Just like the saying goes, dig your well before you're thirsty. It was very simple. Do it before you need it. I have a lot of friends who say, well, Steven, I'm on LinkedIn, I signed up, but I don't really use it. I don't see a benefit in it. And then guess what? A year or 2 or 3 goes by and they said, well, I just lost my job, or the company was downsizing and laying off people. Now I need a job. And they come to me as if I have a job lined up for them. I tell them it takes time, because many times when you build a relationship, especially with a lot of recruiters, from a job standpoint, ultimately you can reach out to them and say, hey, you and I, we talked, we connected, a month ago or years ago and so on. I'd like to reconnect, and maybe here's my candidacy. Maybe there's something for me. Now, but remember, at the end of the day, it's your skills that will get you the job. It's the approach and everything else. So, and there's no secret sauce. There's no secret formula. The key here is very simple. If you're on LinkedIn, be engaging. If you're not on LinkedIn, sign up and give it some time. It's an investment. It's a time-consuming process. But we live in a world today where it's very important to be connected, because your visibility, your credibility will ultimately come to either profitability for your company or some kind of success. It's a must. When people tell me, well, you know what, Steven, I don't have time with LinkedIn. Well, it's fine. I can't convince them otherwise. But those people who are engaged with LinkedIn, I find them to be more successful. The people that I find to be not so successful, not surprisingly, I don't see them being on LinkedIn or not active on LinkedIn.
Wonderful. That's amazing. I like the visibility, credibility, and
credibility, profitability.
profitability. Yeah.
Yep, I call it the VCP model.
VCP model, visibility, credibility, and the profitability. Wonderful.
If you're a company organization, ultimately, you're in the business to make money. If you're a person, maybe the P can stand for participation, because you can be the best accountant in the world. But if people don't know you exist, how can they give you business? So your credibility is what gets you to the top, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ultimately, you got to have the visibility. And it's more important if it doesn't come from you saying, I'm great, look at me. But somebody else says, look at him, he's great. I went to him, I got the advice, or I used his services, and I got something out of it of value. And the keyword here is value. If you get value, and if you can vouch for that individual or that company or that organization, it will show.
Thank you. Steven, if someone asks you, you only build a connection for real relationships, or you actually want to promote to make money from them too? I know you gave the answer. What would you answer in a very short?
It depends. It depends. There are people who connect with me and say, Steven, I have something to sell you. And sometimes I listen to them and I say, thanks, I'm not interested. But then I connect to some people where I personally are interested in them, whether they are published, authors that maybe eventually I'll write a book on LinkedIn or my persona. There are people who are in the political sphere. I'm currently running for the office in Pennsylvania for the 150th legislative district in Pennsylvania. So now I'm connecting with people who are politically connected. It's a personal thing, and that's why I'm connecting to them. But it's not about just the numbers. No, many people say, well, Steven, you're just collecting numbers. I have white pages for that. If I really want to have everyone's contact, I would open a white page in every single state, in every single city, and say, look, I have everything. But this is about being engaged. Now, when I do connect to interesting people, it's because I see maybe down the road, not now, but down the road, there might be synergies to both of us. In one way, maybe benefiting me. In another way, maybe benefiting them. And I also accept people. I consider myself to be an open networker, this concept called Lion. LinkedIn sometimes frowns upon it because they think, well, if you connect to a stranger, he or she might steal your information or your contacts. I think it's more of their excuse. In reality, most of the people are genuine. Majority of people are good, sincere people. Are there some bad apples? Of course. From different countries, from different religions, from different backgrounds. You can have it in every single culture. To me personally, most people that I come in contact with, they're good people, family people. To me, I don't see an issue with connecting to strangers. But if you think about it, every single person in the world that you come in contact with was a stranger in your life. Your spouse, your friend, your neighbor, your colleague, every one of them was a stranger. Apparently something connected you together. You went to the same opera. Hey, you met your spouse. You went to a different, event. and you met your future boss, and so on. So all those people are strangers. Same thing with LinkedIn. No, you cannot be friends with everyone, but those are the connections that you make that hopefully will get you business. And many times, especially if you're an entrepreneur, those are the individuals that ultimately be your next clients.
Wonderful. That's amazing. As we live in a recommendation age, what would you recommend as the top 3 strategies for building a large, engaging LinkedIn connections?
Be active. The number one thing, the more active you are, whether it's participating in a group, whether it's giving back to the community, is what gets you noticed. Now, don't get me wrong. In today's society, we have all those tools available to us, such as Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm sure there's hundreds of other things out there. Be engaged. I see if you can find the time for it, the more visibility that you bring to yourself, the more successful you be. The second one I would probably say is respond to people. Be a human person. Be a human being. You know, when someone reaches out to you, asks you a question, don't blow them off. Do follow up. I mean, I can speak for myself. I'm a busy guy. You know, sometimes it might be a day or two that goes by that I don't respond. That's because I'm busy. But then ultimately I set my time. Usually it's in the evenings when my kids are in bed and my wife is in bed. You know, I would log in and go back through a day or two worth of emails that I got and follow up with people. Some people I say, you know, I don't have an answer to this one. Let me connect you to someone. And some people I say, you know what, I cannot help you based on this and this. And other people I'd say, sure, let's have more open discussion. But at the end of the day, that's my second recommendation is be responsive and be proactive in doing so. And the third one specifically around LinkedIn is try to bring meaningful content to whatever you talk about. Whether you write about something in a blog or a Pulse article or anything like that, bring some value. If you're knowledgeable in whatever sphere you are, you can be, you know, the best engineer in the world or the best. If you keep that talent to yourself, it's one thing. But if you share it with people, if you put it out there and your readers are interested in that, well, guess what? They will take that article and they will share it with the community. And your popularity might grow. Now, some people don't want to be popular. Some people don't want that. That's fine. But I found that many individuals who are published authors and so on, when they put it on, you know, Google and so on, they get more visibility, and more visibility will bring you more successes usually.
That's amazing. I'm going to ask you some personal question. How you keep a personal and professional life balance? That's a very hard for especially a person like you and anyone who is in very successful in business. They are overworked almost, and it's very hard to keep a balance in life.
So the key word here is multitasking. And when you do multitask, be focused. Because a lot of people in today's age, you walk down the street and you see people on their phone, or you see people, you know, on their phone while they're at the movies or eating dinner at a restaurant. Even though you do multitask, sometimes you just have to set aside and have that balance. I like to use the word integration. When people say work-life balance, I say work-life integration. Sometimes, you know, I'm guilty. I'm on the phone when, you know, my wife is asking me something. But other time, I put the phone down and I listen to her, and not just her, other people as well. So to me personally, it's challenging, especially in the world where we live. We're very well connected. We have iPads, we have laptops, we have different mobile devices and so on. But remember, I have activities too. I have different interests. I participate in different interests. My children participate in different interests. I take them places. I go with them all the time. And I remember, you know, my own parents when I was growing up always took me places. So I set aside the time for my personal things. Just like with you, I had to go somewhere with my kids today earlier. You know, you asked me to Skype with you, and I was still, you know, with my children. And as I was driving, I was at a red light. I said, oh, wait a second. I have a meeting with you because I got a reminder. And I had to send you a message saying, hey, let's push it back because I'm not home yet. I'm still driving. I'm still half an hour away or so. At the end of the day, give it some time. Give it some attention. Give the attention the people you're speaking with, you're having a professional or a personal relationship with, they deserve. It's very important. And even in today's day, it's very important to find that integration. So to your readers, to my audience who's watching this video, please take some time and disconnect, disengage from the digital world, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and enjoy life. Many times I go to birthday parties. You know, I have 6 children in the household. I have 5 biological kids and a nephew is 12 years old. We go places and I see all the parents, they're on their phone. And sometimes I just turn off my phone. That 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour will not do anything. And yes, I'll have a lot of messages when I turn it back on. But at the end of the day, enjoy life. And same thing, I go to the same birthday parties and I see the people are recording digitally every single move their kids make. I went to an ice rink and how the child was picking up things and doing things. And honestly, they want to capture every single moment, but you're missing life here. It's happening. It's real time. It's happening right now. Put the device. And yes, take some pictures here and there, but the advice is have the integration. There's no secret formula for it. Whatever works for you and your family. And same thing goes to your professional world. Listen to your boss. Listen to your colleagues. Listen to your partners, vendors. Ask them questions, what they want, what they need. Remember, it's a two-way street. If you want to be successful, you got to understand and fully be engaged what the needs are. And hopefully, with that integration, you will be successful.
Thank you. Thank you. Stephen, as you know that I am the founder of Pakistani Social Entrepreneurship Academy. That's a project of Al Sharif Foundation. We are on a mission to train 1 million entrepreneurs in Pakistan so they too can support themselves and support their families. So I'm going to hold my breath and ask you the question right on the spot. Do I have your support for the project?
Yes. Yes, you have my support.
Is that a shy yes or 100% yes?
Yes, it's 100% yes.
Thank you so much for your support, because your yes means you're 115,000 and many other people will say jump on board and actually help, because in the world we can make a better place only by working together. We can't do it alone. There's no way we will be successful.
And I'm all about making the world a better place. Unfortunately, as you and I, we watch TV and we see violence and hate in the world. And doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter who your background is. If you're a good person, be engaging, help people, and hopefully you and I and our viewers can make a difference. That's ultimately the goal. No one is a perfect out there. But if we can change 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives through whatever means we can, all for it. And you get my support.
Thank you. Thank you. So people who are watching you right now, how they can support you?
Just pretty much as you've been doing. Thank you very much for, again, talking with me, promoting me on social media. Through the years that you and I have been connected, I had few individuals who say, hey, Stephen Burda, I learned about you through the academy. And to me, I knew where it came from.
Oh, okay. Thank you. What would you say as a final word as we wrap up the interview?
Just enjoy your life. Social media is important nowadays, but life just moves so quickly. By all means, have that integration. Be engaging on social media. But don't forget, family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, the people who you can help in your community in all parts of the world. Do the little that you can. And my advice, if you have not done it, please do. Do the best that you can, whether it's your time, whether it's financial resources, whatever you can do, give back.
Thank you, Stephen Burda, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Pakistani Social Entrepreneurship Academy and its entire community. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Wishing you good luck, good sales, and our path to us again with another amazing guest. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you very much. And we'll be in touch again, I'm sure.